one. Hello everyone, and welcome to Day Job. I am your host, Code Marvelous, and today I have a special guest, a rare Day Job guest host in the form of Kevin Tame from the
Hello.
Hacktivist channel. And
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you.
And the link to his wonderful channel, a very thoughtful Netrunner channel where he has a lot of coaching sessions with some of the top players in the game and some retrospectives and reflections on different archetypes and play decisions. Really, really strong content if you're really trying to refine your game. And he decided he wanted to take the plunge and wake up at 6 in the morning and come hang out. So here we are.
Yeah, it's great. I'm excited.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about you, Kevin. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are already familiar with you, but tell our audience very briefly a little bit about why you got into content creation, what kind of your mission is with the channel that you're doing.
Yeah, it really stemmed from my experience at Worlds last year. So I've only been streaming since last year, and what happened is I did really poorly, or I felt like I did really poorly. I had done all this prep beforehand and done all this practice, and I kind of just scrubbed out, and I ended up doing really bad on the day. And what that stemmed was just a lot of reflection and thinking about like how I play the game, and um, what I what I ended up doing is I wrote an article about being a loser at Worlds and like how to make the best out of like losing. And what that stemmed was other conversations I had with other people, and one of them was with Raja or Ajar online, and he was like, "Oh, I have a coach," and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can try getting a coach." And so I asked one of my buddies, Jonas, the Big Unit 3000, "Hey, can you coach me?" And he's like, "Sure, let's give it a try." And so we did it a few times, and then we're like, "This is a really interesting conversation, and maybe we should stream this so other people could get the benefits of it." So I decided to stream it, and then I was like, a lot of the way you get better is through reflection. So I can create these reflections and share those with the world, and people can kind of see how I am reflecting on like my gameplay. And that's kind of where it stemmed from that. So,
Yeah,
and it
and
was it was this whole thing of just about sharing about getting better at playing a specific deck.
yeah, and we're kind of going to be doing a little bit of that because we're going to be playing and kind of reflecting on the max deck. That is this the exact deck you played at World or just very similar to it?
It's the exact deck I played. I think it could have some improvements, but I think it's still pretty good. There is some changes I would make. I know clone chip is like the thing that a lot of people are like, oh, let's add that, but I don't know if that was actually worth it. I think the influence spend might be better on another turtle and another turning wheel, to be honest. I think that's what the Brits did, and I think that might be right, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's solid. It's a super tight deck.
Yeah, I had to cut a lot. Because what happens with Max a lot is you sit around like 47, 48 cards and you don't know what to cut because
Every
there's
orange
just,
card is good.
yeah, exactly. You're like, I really want three David, but I can go down to two. Um, and so it feels a lot like that. Uh,
Yeah,
anyways, yeah.
yeah. So, do you want to do the first game as is, or do you want to make those changes?
No, let's just jump in. This is what I know.
All right, let's do it. All right, so let's get a game going. But yeah, so I think one of the neatest things about the Patchwork Max is the people that I beat playing it at Worlds. I think
Hmm.
one of the biggest things is obviously, you should try to get value out of Patchwork every turn.
Yep.
But I think there's also something to be said about knowing when to be like, okay, I patchworked one thing, but like as far as my tempo is concerned, I'm gonna just do this daily casts this turn rather than wait and get the value on it the next turn, etc. Like I feel like a lot of times what you could tell between people who had really practiced the archetype and not is knowing when to forego patchwork value for tempo.
Yeah.
Or setup. Tempo is not the right word.
It's interesting. Like I find I try and patchwork like every time, and there are awkward moments where you're like, ooh, I kind of want all of these cards, but the power is in this deck is patchwork, right? So you want to be firing it as many times as you can.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, now we're just waiting on an opponent.
That's fine.
So let's talk about opening hands while we're waiting. What's kind of the key opening hand that you're looking for?
Depends on the matchup, obviously. So typically it's sure gamble. Um, so the interesting thing about Max is there's a lot of good opening hands. Like I accept a lot of opening hands. Patchwork is obviously really good. So you want patchwork and sure gamble. The ideal starting hand is something like patchwork, sure gamble, and maybe liberated, for example, or dirty laundry. If you're playing against empty, dirty laundry is really bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
As my smoke deck knows very well.
Yeah, like so one of the things I really toyed with before Worlds was I was like, can I run guinea pig instead of dirty laundry? And I decided that I couldn't.
That's the one where you pay 4, trash your hand, and gain 10, right?
Yeah, so it ends up being like 8 credits for 1 click and losing all of your cards with patchwork. And a lot of times you're running light on cards anyways with patchwork, so it has a ton of value, but it gets really awkward at certain times, so it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, especially, well, I mean, there was only really one of them, but also there was that biotech floating around where if you did that, you would just immediately lose.
Yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, it's definitely better to dirty laundry is better, and it's bad when you have it like that's your only econ with against empty. So like typically, or even if I just have like just a liberated, I might just take it because sometimes just clicking for credit and taking the liberated is really good to get you started. With CTM, you always want the number 1 card is Hacktivist that you want to mulligan for, because the play if you have Hacktivist is play Hacktivist. You're on 4 credits. Because usually what they'll do is they'll install like 2 or 3 remotes.
Right.
And so you play Hacktivist, and then you run.
Try to find the AR.
Yeah, you run click 2, click 3, and if you have dirty laundry, you dirty laundry the final one. And what that does is it allows you to see all of the cards, avoid the Moombad Virtual Tour, steal the AR if it's out there, which it usually is, and you're in safe range to not get hard hitting used.
All right, we've got ourselves an opponent.
P. Okay, this is annoying. Yeah, I don't. This is an okay starting hand. Liberate is fine, and you might possibly want to. So this is the real tension with Max. Is sometimes you want a rebirth to get into something else to slow down the mill, if you will. But
yeah.
But in this case, you don't want to do it too early. You want to at least go through one levy. So I would probably mulligan this, to be honest.
All right.
And this is better because you have patchwork and you have liberated. So your starting play is going to be click a credit, liberated, and go from there.
So there's a House of Knives, a hedge fund, a snare, and a future perfect in HQ.
Yeah.
Max flip is 1 copy of indexing and a black orchestra.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just get set up with money. So you're like clicking for a credit, taking liberated, and then
hitting it twice. Or
I would hit it twice and then just set up for using patchwork and daily cast next turn.
Seems right. I really like. I mentioned this to you before in private, but I really like your very clean art style that you have. Like the.
Oh, thank you.
The way you do the characters, I really like it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So same hand as before, except for now there's a data loop in there, which probably is what went on HQ, because that's the only ice they were holding. So there's a data loop on HQ.
So they're probably on Obokata, right? That's kind of the tell.
Right. So sure gamble and a turning wheel goes into the bin, and paperclip goes into our hand.
So this is a perfect patchwork turn. So we want to like install patchwork, trash paperclip to install daily cast, and then I usually install the same old thing,
just to make sure that we don't lose it from some weird thing happening.
And then I usually will have a click left, and this is I'll just gain a credit, because those credits, even though I think that's one of the most important clicks in the game, is clicking for credit, because sometimes you just need that credit. Though in this match, it actually is probably better. We should have maybe drawn first, because usually there's two ways you're getting constrained in a game. It's either money or cards.
Right.
And PE might be cards, so it might have been better to draw click one.
Yep, Arc Lockdown's coming through. We lost one copy of Paperclip.
That's a mistake, I think, on their part. However, we only run two.
So we have to be careful.
We have to be careful. But you have Turtle, and Turtle does a lot of work if we can get it out. And I don't think they're going to have ways to punish Turtle. So I would draw here and just kind of get... yeah. I don't know. What do you think you do?
I mean, if we want to maximize patchwork, we can patchwork the other liberated out with the Hacktivist meeting and like hit it once.
So yes, but then we also have to think, I think, is that the money might not be the constraint in this game.
It might be the cards.
It might be cards, and so you're basically helping them out to further their game plan.
Sure.
So it might be okay to draw again. Maybe put down another same old thing, and just kind of like what we want to do is we kind of want to hold Levy in our hand because we only have one.
Sure.
Because that's really important.
The other thing that I would say, just from looking at our opponent kind of deal, using that Arc Lockdown early means that they can't threaten our Levy when it pops into the bin, potentially.
Yeah.
So Rebirth and David goes into the bin. Oh, hi, Seeds. Good morning. I'm saying hi to one of the viewers.
Yeah, I know we...
Thanks, Sean, for the subscription. I appreciate it.
So I know we're pretty confident that's a data loop, right? We might want to poke HQ here.
And just be like, oh, well, I guess I'll put these two cards back?
Well, it's more like it's good to get them to res, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going to punish us too bad.
All right, so should we just run?
Worst case scenario, it's not that.
It has to be, though, because they revealed only one ice on that celebrity gift and then installed an ice.
Yes.
Morning, Vicky. Morning, Sean. Yep, so we're going to have to put something back, and we're going to get bounced. So what are we putting back?
Wait, do you not have Paperclip in the bin?
No, they Arc Lockdown it.
Oh, duh. Yeah, just put things you don't want to lose. Oh, you're going to mill them, so if you don't draw. Hacktivist might not be useful this game.
And what about... We probably won't need Stim Hack right away.
No, yeah. So losing those isn't the worst.
And then we're going to say, you can end the run.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get them back by playing Inject if we want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that will get all your stuff back. You could do that or draw.
All right, so the other Paperclip goes into the bin.
So run, and what is our money situation?
We have enough.
Yeah, I would get it installed.
All right.
And get an access, but it's like really important to get that installed so we don't lose it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Feels like kind of two steps back on that play though, because we're like injecting and then putting everything back, but It's fine.
Shipment from Tenon, and there is a House of Knives in there.
So it's good we need to be running now, I think.
Yeah, so last click hit liberated, or...
Yeah.
Because we're on 1 bucko.
I mean, unless they pull some strange hard-hitting new stuff, like... Yeah, I think the constraint is more
but if they
cards.
Right, but if they do that, they earned it. Like,
yeah,
if they've got the wild hard hitting news, they earned that play. All right, so now there's a Philotic in there too. So there's 1 snare, 3 agendas, and a shipment from Tenon. All right, let's see what's on the max flip. So on the max flip, we lose the Hacktivist and the Stim Hack, and then we pick up an Ice Carver.
So we got to think about what their ice suite is. They probably have a Nancy. I would draw, honestly. That's what you want. That's a good card. So we want to like patchwork that down with Hacktivist.
Sure. Do we want to hit R&D or do we want to go into HQ?
We run the risk of like snare.
Oh
and
no,
stuff
we
like
could
that.
just die. Right. Yeah.
So I would just like kind of get set up. Well, we got to run. We want to run because we don't want them to get that
10 in.
Let's just run. This is how PE plays. Like I prefer to be more aggressive personally.
Yeah.
And just die off the snare than not be aggressive.
So do you want me to...
I would do R&D.
All right, let's do it. Okay. So there's a genotyping on top. What do we want to do with our last click?
Draw or credit or money, like, or liberated. It's like either one. They're both good.
Hey.
Drawing is a little awkward, right? We should probably plan out our turn better.
Well, I mean, it's worth noting they have a lot of money, but they haven't made any meaningful progress towards scoring an agenda.
Exactly. So like, we want to force them to put out.
They just overdrew, so that makes me think. I don't know. Maybe they've got like breach domes.
So, genotyping. What does that do again?
Max flip is MK and an inject, and we pull up a dirty laundry, which is pretty good with an open R&D.
What does genotyping do again?
Isn't genotyping the one where they get to trash cards and then pull any like 4 cards out of archives?
There might be an agenda in archives right now.
Do we want to check that?
Sure. I mean, it's just a counter, right?
News team.
Annoying.
I mean, are we taking it or are we taking the 2 tags? So they must they must also have some sort of... Yeah, they're trying to fast advance the Philotic to get a kill. That's what their game plan is.
Can we clear the tags?
Yeah, we can clear them.
It's 2.
Yeah, it's 2 tags.
What else is in the bin?
An Obokata.
I don't know the best play here, to be honest. I did not expect news team. They probably aren't.
I don't think they have any overt tag punishment. I don't think they're going to kill us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They could be on a punitive play.
So I would so we have freedom, so we can also come back in if we want.
Okay.
Like, how many clicks? This is the first click?
Yeah.
So we could steal this Obokata with a freedom, but taking the news team, I would just take the news team, to be honest. I don't want to pay the tags.
But we're not going to take Obokata. We're going to come back in and get it with freedom.
Well, he's going to genotyping it this next turn right away.
Right. But I'm saying we're not going to steal it on this click. We're going to play freedom and go back in.
Do we run the risk of dying? What's in his hand? That's the big question.
No neural EMPs. He could have a max of 1 neural EMP based on what he drew.
But if we draw, we don't have enough clicks, I don't think. We'd have to draw. We'd have to play freedom, and then we'd have to run, and that would put us at 0 cards. So we run a risk.
So do we just steal it this click and then draw up?
I think so. Just take it when you can.
Right, because they're also PE, so we lost the extra card.
Yep.
They're so rich. They are very rich.
Yeah, they're gonna like try and biotic out things.
I think it really is like a 10 in Philotic play. There's probably at least one biotic in the deck also, I would say. Now, Rebirth is in the bin, so when the time comes, we're also ready with Omar. Alright, so into the bin goes a Sure Gamble and a Stim Hack, and we draw a Blorchestra.
Yeah, I mean, I would just draw up and then just like check R&D.
Chic you. Luckily, we don't have to do anything with that when we see it off of R&D. Chic you. Okay.
That's good.
I'm guessing we're not going to run last click against PE.
Nah.
So what do we want to do here?
I mean, I would. So we have another patchwork we can get rid of.
Do we want to do the Sure Gamble or something else?
Just maybe take your Liberated. Just
okay, that works. Keep the hand size up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also still a Future Perfect, a Philotic, and a House of Knives in that hand, as far as we know. Okay, so they're finally like, listen, we're done with these free accesses. All right, so what do we want to do here?
How much is left in the deck?
Our deck, 7 cards.
So and we haven't seen Levy.
No Levy as of yet.
Yeah, you kind of want to draw and find it and just hold it in hand. Ooh, so we haven't. Oh, we do have. So it might be a good indexing time because they might be on Mirage. This might be a Mirage, but indexing is really great against Jinteki decks because you don't have to hit things, right?
Right.
I prefer it over Makers, and I think we have an indexing in the heap, so we could like same old thing for it. So we could set up for that either this turn or we want to run. That's what we want to do.
So where do we want to run?
Probably R&D because there's a snare in hand and there's a bunch of agendas in hand. We could run HQ and try and find those agendas.
What do you want to do?
Either or is fine. You choose. We know.
I like the option where people spend more money.
It's true.
Vicky asks if you have cutleries in your deck, which
no,
he does not.
Yeah,
this is 100% a Mirage, no res.
Maybe.
Kusanagi Project, the worst. But we got our run in, so they can't 10 in.
Yeah. So Makers is great with Mirage decks and.
Yeah, I noticed that you have one of each, which is a good call for something like Magnum Opus, where you're gonna see people without it and with it. So you're covering both sides.
Exactly, and you really want to lean on Turning Wheel, which we haven't really seen, which is.
I think we saw it. It was one of our first flips.
Yeah, but charging up Turning Wheel is really good. But charging up Turning Wheel in PE is tough as well.
So we just need to. You don't like making random pokes, and you can't just bounce off the ice usually.
Yeah, I would just maybe Sure Gamble and like you could trash the Patchwork to play Sure Gamble. The thing about it is we just.
Do we want to draw again? See if we can get the Levy in hand.
Yeah, we maybe should have done that the click before, but. we're running risk here because they're probably just sitting on waiting for it to like kill our levy or something.
Well,
That's how.
we've seen one arc lockdown. There's still 31 cards left in their deck. If they're on 2 arc lockdowns, that's pretty spicy.
It's true, but I don't know what this deck is doing now.
I feel like that upgrade might be a Moanza grid. The one that forces you to access additional cards.
So does that mean we just basically get free accesses?
Yes, but the idea is they're trying to make us smash into snares and chrysalises so that we flatline.
Yeah, so HQ is not bad right now. How many face downs are there?
So, face downs are 3 in archives. One of these last 2 cards is Levy.
So we need to think about. So a play could be, we know Levy's going to be flipped, right?
And there's 2 Shikyus in archives now, also.
So we don't want to run there.
Yeah.
So we could check
HQ or R&D.
HQ. We're gonna have to put 2 cards back. Basically what I'm thinking is Levy is going to be in our bin next turn, so we're going to want a Levy. So we want to set up for that.
Sure.
So it might be best, honestly. We want to run. So HQ seems the best.
Let's do it.
We might die. Oh no, we won't die. But we might get snared here.
Happens. These are the risks you take.
I found at Worlds when I wasn't aggressive, I did worse.
This is the best agenda we could have possibly stolen.
Yes.
Because now their entire game plan is gone.
Let's draw up, yeah, and take that Levy.
Yeah. All right. We can't really discard any of our breakers, either one of our breakers, because that'll put 2 of a type into the trash.
I don't think we're going to play makers right now, to be honest.
Okay. We'll ditch that instead.
Ideally, if we can index, we might be able to index before we levy. What is our money situation?
We are on 18 credits. They are on 35.
Yeah, levy or indexing might be good right here. So a real pro. How many points we got? So we got 1, 2.
We have 4 effective points.
Yeah.
So if we can snatch that future perfect, we can win the game. But it's in the bin with the Shikyus.
Yeah, which we don't want to run.
Do we want to try to index?
Yes, I think so.
All right, so let's do it.
I have a feeling that's Miraju, but it's fine.
Yep, Milan's a city grid. So
Is there an agenda in there?
There's an Obakata in there. So we can just win by going back in, assuming that's not a Miraju.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is 1,000% going to be a Moanza grid, yeah. But it doesn't matter. We win on the first pull.
Yep.
Good game. That kind of stinks for them. They never really got the chance to go off because we saw the shipment from Tenon on like our first HQ check. So we knew for the entire game that we had to run every turn. So they never got that chance to cheat out the House of Knives. Which really changes the game when you're running Obakatas.
Yep. But like the best thing about Max is, so I don't have, I've had worse in this deck, but Max can still deal really well with damage decks. She's fine just face planting into things.
Yeah, I mean, the breaker is your face, right?
Yep.
Something you said at Worlds really stuck with me, that when you're Anarch, the best breaker for Anansi is an I've had worse in hand.
Oh, totally. It's like I don't have I've had worse than this, but when I have run I've had worse than these decks. Tights like slots were so tight that I went different route. But yeah, like just because MK is so bad.
It's really bad.
Um, it's okay if you have Ice Carver, but then you're like hosed for DNA. Actually, it's worse with Ice Carver. It's the one that's the problem with Ice Carver. So like,
Right, because it takes it out of David range.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So it's like, I face check Anansi a lot.
Yeah, there's something to be said potentially. Not, I don't think Max is the deck that you would do this in, but I think there's something to be said about trying to fit cutlery into an Anarch deck, just so that, or even just forks into Anarch decks, just so you can be like, I'm only dealing with this Anansi like twice.
Yep. Oh, totally. Yeah. So in the soccer tournament, last one, I was playing Freedom, and I had a whole approach of I ran every cutlery and hippo and all that stuff, and my approach to dealing with stuff like Surveyor and Anansi and stuff like that was just face check everything, and then set up a lamb, turning it into a barrier or whatever, right? Okay, so Polana. I don't. Oh, so this is a tough one because the turtle's really great. The turtle data sucker combo is very good.
To get out early.
Oh, it's very good. It's really tough here because you don't have great economy. I mean, you have a dirty laundry, but you're missing patchwork. You're missing sure gambles and liberated. So this is the problem with Max is you usually are going to draw into things. So it's like, oh, I'll just draw into my patchwork. So I might keep this because I love turtle and data sucker together.
All right, let's ride or die it on the power turtle. Hello, Chunling Tan. Welcome. I haven't seen you around in a while, I don't think. Thanks for popping in this morning. I know Polana is really powerful and the ability is really strong, but whenever I see a Polana as opposed to a MT, I'm always like, oh, thank God. Like,
oh yeah, it's like they're gonna make more money, but
the amount that I have to think is reduced by so much. So on the max flip, we lose Inject and Stim Hack, and we gain a Freedom through Equality into our hand.
Not great. So we're kind of a credit short to install Turtle and Data Sucker and do Dirty Laundry. Open HQ. I don't know. I would like your play could be credit install Dirty Laundry. It's risky. You might like hit a snare or something, but
Fortune, I hear, favors the bold.
Oh, totally. The game this is one of my biggest takeaways at Worlds was my biggest mistakes were when I psyched myself out for certain situations, right? Like I was like, oh, they might have a neural and kill me this turn. I'm not like I had this one I had this one play where I didn't steal like a City Works project because it would have put me on 3 cards and they might have had double punitive and they had the money to double punitive me. And I didn't steal it. And I was like, I probably should have just stole it and just taken the risk that I might get double punitive because it would have won me the game. Like, because I would have won like a few turns later. But what ended up happening is I didn't, and then I got real behind. So I think it's better to be aggressive.
I agree. So they used Rashida. They put something into the server, advanced at once, and also iced HQ. The max flip is Patchwork, unfortunately, and a daily cast. Then we draw another Laundry into our hand.
I feel like, I mean, that's almost likely a NISEI.
Yeah. That sweet, sweet NISEI that they crave.
So can we get in? We really want to steal this if we can. We have David, which would deal with Big Ice.
I have a feeling it's something like a Kakugo, which we can technically deal with.
So it might be good to dirty laundry, get some money, put down David, and then run. Because we're going to get counters too.
Yeah. You want me to run archives?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be getting to low hand size, but that's okay.
So then click 2, put down the David.
Yeah.
And see what wonderful ice treasures are waiting for us. I'm going to be, are you going to make it up to our meetup this Saturday up in Philly?
I don't think I will this Saturday. So my problem right now is my son has fall baseball. So our Saturdays are pretty booked up for the next few weeks playing fall baseball.
Yeah, the reason I mention it is Polana makes me think of it because I'm bringing loner decks, and the decks that I'm bringing are Steve and Polana. You know, simple, straightforward.
This is a gatekeeper, right?
Yeah, we can just go like this.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then for the rest, yeah.
That's like
so
if
good.
If you can keep him off that, we're in a really good place.
Yeah, that's so good. All right, and then what do we want to do with the last click? Credit or draw?
Money's going to be an issue, so let's draw.
Cool.
That's the way I think of it.
And now that gatekeeper is trivial for the rest of the game because we already have turtle down.
Yep. I don't know. It's tough for them. I don't know if I would have rezzed it. It's tough. I mean, they tax us the David counters.
If they have an Anansi that they're planning on getting down later, it's not
good.
bad.
Yeah, so I look at it like this is a money tax game, right? Where they're going to tax us. This is an NGO.
That's got to be an NGO, right?
It sure feels like it.
Otherwise, it's just guts. All right, so other patchwork goes into the bin along with a hacktivist.
Let's draw a bit here. And then we want to play. No, play it yet. Let's draw. Let's play that last click.
Draw again?
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yep.
Because if that's an NGO, then they have to pay the tax to get it down. Hey, Rayotan, good morning. Good morning from Boston. Max is so good.
I know. I was playing with Val last night with Joe, and like I felt like,
you're like, man. Or I could be tutoring all of my cards. So daily cast and Black Orchestra is the max flip, and then we gain another daily cast into our hands.
How many paper clips do we have in the bin? Any?
We have no breakers of any kind except for one Black Orchestra. No paper clips, no MKs in the bin.
And no patchwork, huh?
Well, we have 2 patchworks in the bin.
Let's draw.
They're like laser focused on getting into our trash.
Let's draw again. See, we can trash that and we can get rid of the paper clip. We probably just want to get daily cast and turning wheel down because it feels a little bad.
And then do we want to ditch one paper clip here or the rebirth?
The paper clip.
Okay.
Because your breakers are best in your bin. I mean, they might arc lockdown stuff, but they're best there.
Sure.
They installed something. That was at like when did they install this thing on?
They installed it the turn before our last turn. I'm guessing it's a Chrysium grid since they're Polana.
Yeah, so this is most likely a Rashida or some sort of like baddie or something like that.
2 clips in the bin now. Sure, Gamble goes in there.
So we run the risk of arc lockdown. It feels like a lot of people play that.
That definitely feels like a Rashida.
We should trash it if we can. But it might not be bad to like start pressuring HQ. Like
we do only have 2 credits.
Oh, that's true. We need money. We need a draw. Yeah, draw.
Hey, at least we finally got that in our hands.
So let's just take some credits and maybe install the same old thing. I don't know. And then we can get rid of the turtle.
And that rebirth.
Yeah, we don't need the rebirth right now.
And next turn, we'll be put up to 5 by daily cast so we can get Patchwork down.
And we really want to hope that we draw into like a sure gamble or something.
Right, some sort of burst economy. Okay, so we lose the sure gamble and an inject, and we gain an ice carver.
This is the game, man. Like, you sometimes just lose all your stuff from the max flip. Let's draw though. Okay. This is their awkward.
Want to draw again?
I think so. We'll hold on to that. So let's get Patchwork down, and can we install something?
We can install like Ice Carver if we want. Or
Ice Carver is very risky because of the Anansi.
Right. Or we can put MK down for free using Patchwork.
Are we going to need MK?
No, I don't know. Other than that, we don't really have any installables that we want to use right now.
Let's just click for credits and get rid of stuff. That's what I would do.
All right, so what do we get rid of?
Hold on your Black Orchestra. Stim Hack can probably go away right now. I don't think we install Ice Carver right now, to be honest.
That's like a second pass card once we know more about the ice.
Yeah, we just don't know what's going on here. We probably need to be aggressive running a little bit, but we have been pretty poor.
Yeah, we're very broke. Now, it's worth noting, you can just, not saying that we would do this in this particular case, but people watching at home, you can patchwork things that you same old thing.
Oh, yeah. You usually use that. You do the patchwork with Levy.
All right.
Let's draw. Let's definitely draw. Okay, let's get that down. Can we pay for that? Yeah.
So what are we pitching to put it down?
MK.
And then we're just going to hit it?
Yep.
And now we are going to have the ability to pressure centrals a little bit better.
Yeah, so what if they run Arc Lockdown, a lot of times they're sitting on waiting for you to get the Levy down in the bin. So like, it's a real threat. Like, it's one of your biggest threats. So that, yeah, we want to probably check HQ. We have all of our breakers, right?
We have access to all of our breakers, yes.
So what's our money situation?
We have 10 credits.
10 credits. We have a Dirty Laundry now, which is nice. Let's Liberated and check HQ.
Do you want me to use the laundry on it or just check it?
What is our biggest risk?
Our biggest risk probably is that it's an Anansi.
Which we could take all the damage, right?
We could eat the damage, yeah.
We could... Yeah, why not?
Okay.
The question is, do we want to patchwork it?
I don't think we necessarily do.
So we might want to draw and see what that is. And maybe patchwork the makers, because I don't think we need the makers right now.
All right, let's see what's... Because they haven't been scoring. So there's probably some agendas in there.
Yeah.
All right.
This is fine. This is fine. Just
do we install?
I wouldn't install. No.
Okay. We lose the same old thing, which is 100% fine. Oof. Do we take it? If they're on Punitive Polana, we could potentially die here.
This is tough. Do we have any clicks?
We don't have enough clicks left to levy.
Do we have enough for money? They have way more money than us.
And they'll only have to land one.
Yeah. It's really hard to say. I don't know. This is where I psych myself out, right? Always. We might lose Levy. Go ahead. Let's not... sometimes you want those obacadas out of the way, right?
Yeah, but a lot of the Polana builds are on punitive, and if they are on punitive, we just die. But if they're not, then we're at 5 points, and that's pretty good.
And how much of their deck have they seen? How much do they have left in there?
They've gone through roughly half their deck.
So they probably have punitive, if they're on punitive.
We've only seen a couple points of influence. Yeah, I don't know. And also, we'd also be binning Levy. Without being
we would. How much is left in our stack?
5.
I mean, essentially, we're going to be probably levying next turn. It's really tough. You choose.
I'm going to say no. I've died too many times to that play.
Hey, we got a turning wheel counter.
Yep, and then just draw. Oh, look, a clone chip.
So that's really good. That's really good.
Because then we can overwrite the David and bring it back.
Well,
movable object. The guest is Kevin Tame.
Yes.
Who has a channel on YouTube called the Hacktivist. There's a link in the show notes. He's joining me for some content.
Hello.
Right, so they've got the House of Knives now, which, especially out of Polana, really makes me think that they're on like a punitive play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so max flip, we lose the other copy of Turning Wheel and a liberated account. We gain a sure gamble, and we have 1 card left on the top of the stack.
Let's use that for like patchwork fodder.
So you want to draw?
Yep.
Same old thing.
Oh, we want to put that down probably. So what can we trash with to play the sure gamble? We could do the freedom. So let's trash the freedom to play sure gamble. Get your same old thing down and your clone chip. And we're going to levy next turn.
Sounds good. And we've got a lot of counters on Turtle and Data Sucker.
Yeah, it's great. We're in a good position here, I think.
So 2 cards went into there.
Yeah, so let's what is in this server? Batty,
maybe a what's his name? Ben Musashi.
Yeah.
All right, so there's no max flip.
So let's think about our turn here. So David has no counters, right?
1 counter.
Oh, 1 counter. Okay. Is it risky to check this remote?
It is, but if we do it first click, we can still levy after whatever happens.
So they're not scoring like. Well, what's interesting is they have NISEI in this deck, right? No.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we have
one. So it seems like they're more on like a try and run you through the remote and tax you out.
That could definitely be a possibility as well.
This might be like a Philotic they're trying to score. If they're trying to score anything, it could be just a Rashida because they're low on cards. It's probably a Rashida. So maybe
because we could also clear out the upgrades.
Let's go poke R&D, to be honest, because we forced them to res. We can clear
get
out
to see what that upgrade is.
Yeah, and we also like if it's a Nancy, we can like use it. Oh, they use House of Knives. Okay.
That's fine. We anticipated that might happen.
Yep.
Daruma, what is that?
Oh, they get to like swap a card. Wait, how does that work? I thought it only worked in a remote.
No, it's not the upgrade. This is what I'm seeing off the top of the deck.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the upgrade.
And it is a Chrysium. We're going to trash that, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be able to index if we can.
All right, so what are we doing?
I mean, can we get off an indexing here?
We could, but then we have the potential to lose Levy to the House of Knives. And not being able to play it.
Yeah, maybe we just like save some. I mean, they're probably House of Knivesing. It's tough because if this is a House of Knives, they're scoring, then
things get real weird.
Yeah, we're gonna have to levy, and then we don't get to use our indexing. Like I kind of liked index, to be honest.
So let's index.
And like we're not gonna be able to levy. We might lose it here.
Well, we're also assuming a lot. So are we gonna install Black Orchestra, but then use the Amakua?
Well, what is our Amakua, and can we break this with Amakua?
Yeah, because we have 3 counters and 2 data suckers.
Let's break with the Amakua and stuff.
And no install?
No, we don't need to install.
Okay. And then we can empty out the last David counter if we wanted.
Sure. I mean, you can even trash it. Like, you save a credit by just trashing the David.
Yeah. I mean, we can do that if we go back in to get something.
Yeah.
Replacement effect. Oh my gosh, there's 2 NISEIs on the top of this deck. Okay, so we have 2 NISEIs in here. How are we going to arrange this?
We have turning wheel, right?
Yeah.
Can we run in and go get that?
Oh yeah, we can get them both. You're right. All right, so there is a sword. I'm going to have to rearrange this. So there's a swordsman in here. Do we put that at the bottom?
I mean, we can always install MK, but yeah, sure, we can put it at the bottom. We want these Niseis badly, though. We're gonna. Yeah, let's go steal them.
Seems right.
So wait, what is our way of breaking?
We're gonna use Amakua, then let 1 trash fire and fire the David, and trash the David.
Yep.
And then we're gonna say break, and then say fire 1 trash.
We might. I mean, if they have punitive or something, we might die, but...
but we're going to die the way we lived.
Did you get 2 counters?
Yep. Getting 2 Niseis in 1 run.
That's great.
Yeah.
Feels very good.
Yeah, it feels incredible.
Why didn't they House of Knives our stuff?
They may have just forgot.
So now we want to just, take our money off Liberated and levy. and we were in a good spot.
That has to be a 5-3, right? I would say. So we're going to take Liberated money. We're going to levy.
What's that Obokata, right?
Yeah, it's an Obokata, which we can't steal anyway right now. Well, or we can potentially after we levy.
Do we have 2 cards? 1 card?
We have 2 cards.
So let's trash the other one to play the levy.
Oh, look at these top tier plays.
And then just like let's get some daily cast down or something, or we could wait a turn. Daily cast is okay to just install by itself, and then use Patchwork for our Liberated next turn.
Do we want to draw here or gain a buck?
I would put down same old thing.
Solid.
I don't draw a lot. I let myself draw into things, especially against decks where like I might have damage.
Right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, so there's the Obokata score. All right, max flip is 2 sources of money, Liberated and daily casts, and then we draw a Hacktivist.
Yeah, let's draw. Okay, let's. So this is where we're in a situation where they've only drawn 1 card, so we want to re-index, right? That's our plan.
Yeah.
So we're gonna want to get indexing in hand, so inject's the way to get there, but we want to play it in a turn or 2.
Nope. Whoops.
No, not inject. We want to play the indexing in a turn or 2. We want to find it. So I would just sure gamble here, like with Patchwork, trashing the other Patchwork. We don't need the freedom either. We don't really need the Liberated. Hacktivist would be okay if we ever try and run this remote.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we should keep in case we end up having to run that remote. What do we want to do with our last click here?
I don't know, gain a credit or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's like we're just kind of waiting.
We're waiting for the indexing to either show up in the bin or in our hands.
Yeah. And, well, they might just start jamming here, right?
Yeah.
So we have to check this. So Hacktivist does a lot of work.
There's also now an MK in the bin for things like Swordsman.
Swordsman, I don't think they installed it. They might have, but...
Do we want to put down Hacktivist and go check it?
This would be the winning agenda for them, right?
Yes.
I think we do.
Okay, let's do it. We've got money. They have significantly less money than we do.
Question is, should we have stim hacked?
I mean, we could have.
So whatever they res and do, like they're going to lose cards. It might be worth it to go check archives
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this deck a lot. I might sleeve this up for this weekend.
Oh, it's good. It's fun. I mean, it won me a lot of games, so don't get me wrong. I think it has a small few things you could change. Like I really wanted to see Turtle and Turning Wheel. And so I wish I had another turtle. Like I don't know if clone chip is the best decision because your targets are only Turtle and David.
Right. Well, it's one of those things. You know, when you have the max ability, sometimes the clone chip is the thing that wins you the game, and sometimes you don't need it. But in the games where it wins you the game, it wins you the game. Like it's one of those weird cards in max. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the thing is that 2 influence could be just another turtle, which you then see it earlier, and something else, right? Like,
right. Because
another turning wheel.
Yeah, Turtle turn 1 wins games. Period.
Turtle was like the card of Worlds. I felt like every runner deck seemed like they had it.
All right, so they hit us with the damage.
I'm
imagining there's going to be like a Kakugo. What was that? Navi, Mumbad, City Grid. Using Data Sucker is not a paid ability, right? Because there's no colon.
I don't know. We should ask.
We can just break this. Yeah, Data Sucker isn't a paid ability. I don't believe.
But we also have like MK to deal with it. It's like we just want to know.
Yeah, do we want to use MK here? I don't think we need to. Because we can just use a Data Sucker token.
What are they saying?
I think it is no.
I
mean, we can do it either way.
We have the money.
Oh, it is a paid ability. Okay. There we go.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Let's continue on with our lives.
And we can definitely install MK.
Yep.
Because it's an icebreaker.
Yep. Come on. And then this is trivial. Break. Break. Alright, so here's the Marcus Batty, which they're going to use to try to do the damage so that we can't steal the Obokata. So, 0, 1, or 2, you pick.
What's so funny, as the corp, I bid 2 all worlds and I won a ton of Psy games. However, I don't think they're bidding 2. It's 1 or 0.
All right, make the choice.
1.
You got it. Oh, they're gonna do another one.
How much money do they have?
8.
They're not bidding 2. Let's roll and see what it says. What did it give us?
Its dice result is 2.
So that would mean a 0.
All right.
Go ahead, 0.
They spent 2.
Huh?
They have to be doing the Cortex lock here, right? If that's an Obicata. Yep. So it's an Obicata that we can't steal.
So what is our clicks left?
We have 2 clicks left.
Can we draw up?
We cannot
No.
draw up and get that now.
We might lose here, huh?
Happens sometimes.
Well, wait, hold up. They lost a lot of cards in archives.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to check that?
So do we have a makers?
We do not have access to makers.
So we could turning wheel the next so our play. How many cards in hand?
2, or 1. They have 1.
We have 2 clicks. So I think how many face downs?
5.
We definitely check archives, but don't do it yet. Hold on. And we don't have enough. Let's see here, and we can get into R&D.
Yeah.
We have how many turning wheel counters?
1, unfortunately.
Let's just check archives and check R&D. That's the best play, unfortunately.
I mean, if there's literally any agendas in here, we win. That aren't Obicatas.
Yeah.
No agendas.
Well, let's check. We gotta check R&D.
Yeah, we gotta.
Or there could be HQ. There could be one in HQ. It's either or.
Come on, big money. Obicata Protocol.
OMG.
We tried real hard.
That's really funny.
That was a good game, though.
Oh, it was a great game. I mean, that's a game where it's okay to lose, like, because, we lost on the side game, basically. We won one side game. And I feel like sometimes, like, that's just what happens is you win and lose on
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, and well, the thing about it is Palan is a hard deck to play against. I think in hindsight, this is a good example where we reflect, and we should have stole that first Obicata. Like,
yep.
It doesn't look like they have any punitive.
Yeah, they're pure glacier.
Yeah, so this is like an example where, like, this is what happened to me at Worlds. Like, the matches I lost, I didn't steal and be aggressive when I should have been. And so I think, like, it's really tough because you think to yourself, oh, I could just lose the game and that's the game. But not having that 3 points was really bad for us.
Right. The game would have been over on that first indexing that we did.
Exactly. So I think it's better to be aggressive, and you're going to lose some just from dying, but
that happens.
YOLO.
Yep.
YOLO, right?
Yeah. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm asking too much, but I'd love to come on again because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on again. I mean, it's just me here in the mornings. Sometimes we can do a 3-headed dragon. We can get Sanjay in here too.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I wonder if that would be like too confusing though, because like sometimes like having multiple people on a video call is a lot at all in any situation. But yeah, I would love to have play a game with Sanjay as well.
Yeah, and the link to Kevin's wonderful channel, the Hacktivist, this is the background that he uses to play this. so I can subliminally plant it in all of your brains. The link to his channel is in the show notes on YouTube. Check him out, and you have some great coaching sessions on there, like you just did one with Joe last night, right?
Yep, I did. Who's the world champion? So it was. His one thing is he's like, I'm not a very good coach. I don't know if I want to do this. He was like, but I think he had some real good insights and some things I hadn't thought about. So it's still really good. There's some great games we play.
Awesome. Well, I got to get heading into work. Everyone, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come hang out and watch me play some Netrunner. And until we see all of you lovely humans again, always be running.